the Lawyers with Attitude. We've been away for a little bit. And,
I'm afraid so.
And why was that?
Well, I got taken ill. I had emergency surgery on my spine, but now I'm back and raring to go. I've got real attitude, and those who follow me on Twitter will realise that. Today's
episode is going to be a fantastic one. The format's slightly changed. It's going to be a shorter show than usual, and we're going to be interviewing the High Commissioner for Rwanda, and he's going to be talking about that country's legal system. But in the meantime, Judy, since you've been away, what has happened of significance in the legal world in the UK?
This week, the most important thing that's happened is that there's been a more important dealing with what happens to lawyers who keep mobile phones belonging to their clients while the client is in custody. And there is a solicitor who is ended up in a lot of trouble as a result. Lawyers, even without attitude, who are duty solicitors and their staffs, really must be very, very careful.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you and to address some of the issues that you raise. It is true that after the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, our government took an informed decision to eliminate the death penalty out of our legal provisions of our statute books. The reason was essentially because we did not want the process of administration of justice in post-genocide Rwanda to be associated in any way with any acts of impunity or any idea of administration of justice that leads to the termination or the destruction of human life. We were trying to address the challenge of senseless destruction of human life. And we did not want people to believe that in participating in searching for solutions in post-genocide Rwanda, people might actually end up being faced with the death penalty. And what we, as a government, then decided was that we would pursue a path of restorative justice instead of punitive justice, the ultimate of which, in terms of punishment, is the death penalty that you would impose on a person that has been convicted of commission of a heinous crime like the act of genocide against the Tutsis that were committed by a lot of our people. And what we have found since then is that the path of restorative justice has enabled us to address the challenges of forgiveness, of reconciliation, and national healing, because it has enabled people to come out freely, to confess to crimes that they committed during the genocide, to seek for forgiveness, and to receive forgiveness in the same process. And that has enabled us not only to see actual justice being done, but also creating a foundation for national healing and for reconciliation. The decision to join the Commonwealth is rooted in our own foreign policy. We believe that in this time and age, no nation is an island. We all must reach out to build relations bilateral with the countries around us and international with the countries that are very far from us. Within the context of the area, the geographical location where we are members of the East African community, but we are also members of other regional blocs like COMESA, like CPGL, because we believe in the importance of collective effort as nations seek to build prosperity for their regions and for their peoples. Within the discourse internally, for Rwanda to join the Commonwealth. The main driving argument, the main reason for us to make the decision was really both political and economic. At a political level, we were members of the East African community. And the East African community historically has been associated with the British through colonial relationships. And because of that, countries like Tanzania, like Kenya and Uganda, which are members of the East African community and which use English as a medium of communication, both administratively and commercially, were members of the Commonwealth. And when we joined the East African community, it became necessary for us to adopt English as an official language. So in Rwanda, we now have 3 official languages. We have English, we have French, and we have Kinyarwanda. We have not necessarily thrown away French, but we adopted English as a necessary instrument that would empower our ability to engage within the family, both of the East African community that we are joining, but also to join with, to be able to engage the rest of the world out there that uses English as a medium of communication. And of course, because members of our sister regional organization, which is the East African community, were also members of the Commonwealth, we felt that it was ordinate, it was appropriate for us to seek membership of this larger grouping of nations that our colleagues within the East African community were members of, and fortunately which also use English as a language, both for administrative purposes as well as for commerce. And it is important also for us that the Commonwealth does espouse values of democracy, of human rights, that we also believe in as a people. So it was not just joining the Commonwealth because it uses a language that we are adopting. It was also because it is a community of nations that espouses values that we too hold dear, particularly those of democracy and human rights. And we were certainly very happy to apply and to receive the endorsement of member nations of the Commonwealth, and we were admitted into the body in 2009 during the Choga meeting in Trinidad and Tobago. And since then, we have been active members of the Commonwealth, and we certainly look forward to a future of active participation in activities of this body, and to make our contribution to advancing democracy, to advancing human rights, and to building peace around the world. And beyond that, the Commonwealth is also a family of economies. And we thought that joining the Commonwealth would also expand our economic footprint in terms of building relations within, building relations with economic actors in other economies within the Commonwealth. And we certainly are looking forward to continuing to engage countries within the Commonwealth, whether it is UK or New Zealand or Canada or Australia or Kenya or Uganda, all the countries that are, all the 54 countries that are there that are willing to do business and to trade with us.
We've almost finished this week's episode of Lawyers with Attitude, but we couldn't end the show without the joke of the week.
And the joke of the week is that this week the police found a dismembered body at Legoland. They're putting the pieces together to try and make a case.
Julian, your time away from Lawyers with Attitude has not encouraged you to think of any better jokes, but then again, it wouldn't be the same show without your corny jokes.
So it's goodbye from me, and it's
goodbye from me. See you soon.